Oh, those wacky katakis. Hello, welcome back to P-Storm. I am Pluvius Lilon, and today we're playing Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. And when we last left off, Phoenix kind of dicked us around a little, sent us on a wild goose chase to find a bunch of missing items, and then it turned out one of the missing items is connected to a murder, so we finally get to defend someone. But there's a mountain of evidence against him, so, typical Ace Attorney fare.
Huh. Mr. Wright's not here today?
He said his old foot injury was acting up.
Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday.
Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine as long as you're there, Trucy.
Yes, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes Justice! I started my voice training at 5 this morning.
Ooh, do some now. I want to see. Here.
Huh? Oh, okay. My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine!
That sounds more like a self-mantra than voice training. I'm fine, you know what I'm saying.
Good morning.
Yo, sup? Hit me with the guilty verdict, G. See if I care. You just hang loose and let things go with the flow, you know what I'm saying?
Not really.
Wonky, don't be running your mouth like that in here.
See, that's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pen. Or real G's can't keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pen. Sorry, big difference there.
You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Sounds like they both in voice training too, Apollo.
My worst fears realized. The trial's starting and I still haven't had a real talk with my client.
Court is now in session for the trial of Walkie Kadaki.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Ready to rock and roll here, Judge. It's him. The guy from yesterday. He's a prosecutor?
It's Mr. Gavin's brother.
Long time no see, Prosecutor Gavin. Were you taking a leave of absence?
You know that little band I started in my free time? Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say 9 to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, yeah?
I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial.
Not to worry, Air Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, yeah? How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength of the little boy who bested my brother? It was worth canceling a show or two.
Understood. You may give your opening statements to the court.
Before that, I was thinking, is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious?
It is a court of law.
That's no way to get the crowd jumping, Air Judge.
They're not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom.
Achtung, baby! Today we play it my way.
What's that noise?
Sometimes you have to get on up in order to get down to prosecuting.
This is crazy.
The victim, Pal Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic. The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand.
What in the world was a doctor doing pulling a noodle stand?
Yes, I believe. You'll only find that out by asking the defendant, right here, right now. Because it's an undeniable truth that he shot the victim.
What do you mean, undeniable?
If you're to glare at anyone, Herr Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. His crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see.
Very well. Please admit this witness to the court.
Nine. Not yet. First, there's a little matter to be cleaned up.
Could you talk without the accompaniment?
I swear I could see the guitar for a second.
What is it, Prosecutor Gavin?
The motive, Herr Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic?
Objection!
Not so fast. The defendant doesn't have to explain that.
Oh? But what if the defendant specifically requests to do so, as he did this morning? I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said.
What?
What is right?
They always say that on stage you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly?
Well, this is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive in the crime. So, you son of the defendant, Walkie, are you?
I ain't your son, old man. You step to a Kataki, you best be prepared to step wrong. Or step strong, sorry. I can't read. You step to a public official, you'd best be prepared to step into jail. Gotta hand it to him, Walkie sure has guts.
It's not his guts I'm worried about.
Well then, the court will now hear the testimony on the defendant's motive from the defendant himself.
I'll tell you one thing, that doctor was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. Messed up my op something bad. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye! So I gotta go in, get another doc to patch me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying?
You're saying you were one of the victim's patients?
A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street, true that. I'll tell you one thing, that doc was whack.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all this.
Hold it!
First of all, the word you're looking for is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor.
Who asked you, pointy locks? Just who do you think you are?
Your lawyer?
Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple.
Hold it!
By someone, you mean... Was there anyone with a score to settle with this doctor? Besides you, I mean.
You better ask somebody else, Holmes. What do I care? I made up my own mind and did what had to be done. Straight gangster style.
But why were you so mad at this doctor?
Yo, sit back and listen while I drop it, J-Man.
Hold it!
So you were a patient at the Maractus Clinic half a year ago. For what reason?
I had what you might call a mark of honor. Can you explain precisely what was wrong? We had a little run-in with the Ravalis family. That's when I pulled a jack move. And ran into an ambush. G busted a cap right in me. According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting. Ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time, by yourself. Hey, I was more than a match for those guys.
So you were carried to the Maractus Clinic from there,
Apparently he was shot in the heart.
And he was to blame.
I can catch bullets between my teeth, but I never learned how to catch them with my heart. The bullet stopped just short of my thumper, you know what I'm saying? I would have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet. So, as you say, the surgery was a failure. That ain't all of it, Holmes.
What do you mean he just let you go without a word?
What do you think it means? It's whack, that's what.
I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad.
Sounds as though Herr Doctor wished to hide his mistake. That's why I let the defendant go. He's a liar, straight up. He's a better G than me.
So this bullet is still...
You know it. I can still feel it. Right there in my chest, pressing up against my heart. Your words are like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hit singles.
Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice.
Word, J-Man. Well, no accident, that's for shizzle.
Seems that there were issues with this doctor.
Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor.
Wacky, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that.
Chin up, Apollo. Back straight.
But why did this mistake only come to light that day?
It was found during the family health checkup.
The family checkup?
That was the wackest thing of all. All us G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away, Bazoi. A relief to hear. Eh? What's a relief? Oh, did your father not tell you? That bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you.
What?
Yes, Herr Dr. Maractus has knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life. No way, that's whacked! There is proof. Your checkup report. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. You're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started.
Started?
We've had enough of a warm-up act, yeah? Time to hear from the witness. Wacky sure is quiet all of a sudden.
I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gavin's strategy?
So, you will tell us your name and occupation. My name is Wesley Stickler. By occupation, I take you to refer to some labor that profits society at large and supports a livelihood, under which definition I must confess to being unemployed. However, we must acknowledge the meaning of our identity, which is commonly attached to this notion of occupation, and once we've accepted this reality, we see that our confusion is not gestalt per se, but derives from the vagueness inherent in representations of thought, by which he means to say that he is a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honing my... Herr Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today.
Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime.
You ask quite simplistically what I saw. However, we must understand that Homo sapiens possess two eyes, and of these designed to receive and interpret data, sending images of... That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping. When I saw them, One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot! The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead.
Was there anyone else in the park at that time?
I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. The pistol our witness refers to is this.
The court accepts this into evidence. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine this witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Trucy? Why are you staring like that at the witness?
That man... I can't help but feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
On the way home from shopping, you say? Why go through the park?
Ah, fascinating inquiry, revealing me culpable of being insufficiently verbose. Let us consider the time saved by passing through the park on the way home from the store. In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes 24 seconds to complete one such set. However, ergo, the time to complete 2 is... However, in the case of the question's verbal category, admitted I'm not...
That's enough. I get the idea.
Mr. Justice, the court hopes to finish cross-examination sometime this month.
Please, I have a recording booked after this trial. And I've got a show to perform.
Gee, sorry you're all so busy. Were these men talking by any chance?
Now that you mention it, they were, though I cannot claim I heard them clearly. Only fragments, such as "you lied to me," "oh, and I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, pal." It's just as our defendant claims. I believe he wished to teach the victim what it felt like to take a bullet to the heart.
If that's true, then this is a vital piece of testimony.
Sounds like you heard them clearly enough to me.
Might I be allowed to amend my testimony?
What now?
To be precise, he did not say pal, but man. Yes, that was the way of it. I swear on my diploma.
What's the difference?
And this other man, who was he?
How can you be so sure it was the defendant? The crime took place at night. It would have been too dark.
Perhaps I was remiss in mentioning this earlier.
Huh?
You see, in class I always sit in the very backmost seat. But do you know why?
Who cares?
Because I do not wish anyone to copy my perfect notes.
And this relates to your testimony how?
I mention this to illustrate my predisposition to that which is perfect. It was dark, you say, yet there are lights in the park. If I say the defendant was in the park that night, then he was in the park that night. It is a hard, immutable fact. He sure is confident.
He seems to be telling the truth, too. Are you sure the pistol you saw was the same as the one just submitted as evidence?
Am I sure? Surely you jest. Or so a common witness would be tempted to say.
Huh?
Yet I am no common witness. I see not only events as they are, but in a logical structure governing these events. First, we must consider the fact that it wasn't night in the park, which is indeed restricted to my field of vision due to insufficient levels of illumination. Now, if we consider that the pistol, let us call Object A, is shrouded in darkness, it becomes difficult to say with certainty that Object A was indeed Object A. I think he means he couldn't see it clearly.
My badge for a normal witness.
Yet the fact that a pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon.
Are you absolutely certain only one shot was fired?
Yes, of course it was one shot. Why do you ask?
Aha! A contradiction, finally! Mr. Stickler, according to the court record, the pistol was fired twice. A clear contradiction.
Good eyes, Air Justice. You're cool. Real cool.
Huh? You really think so?
Yet, there's a reason why this other shot had to have been fired. Or, there's no reason why this other shot had to have been fired that night.
Meaning...
This pistol came from the Kitaki family mansion, yeah? I think it's not unreasonable to assume the pistol had been fired once before that night. During perhaps another altercation.
He's got a point.
Judging from his smug expression, I'd say Prosecutor Gavin had that answer ready before you even spotted the problem.
He seems pretty confident in his testimony.
We always make the biggest mistakes when we're at our most confident. He's got a weak point somewhere, Apollo. Find it.
Right. Better give that testimony another listen.
Let me take a look at the autopsy report. The right temple. Would that count as the forehead? I don't know. Let's find out.
Objection!
Ha-ha!
If that's all of it, I think I have a chance.
Is that you relaxing, I see, Air Justice?
Huh? Oh, Objection!
Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice.
Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet.
Right. Look at this.
The autopsy report? Is there a problem with the autopsy report?
Right, a problem. Problem. Yes! The problem is the location of the entry wound.
The location?
You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not?
I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometrical absolute. What do I mean by this? For example, the deflection of a meter is approximately the wavelength of the light emitted by a krypton particle, as we all know. In addition, it is a well-known fact that krypton particles are rare and invisible to the eye, which points to a basic fallacy in your line of reasoning, namely an...
Mr. Justice.
Yes?
Was your objection to these, krypton particle things?
This is the big time, and you're so obsessed with something so small. You disappoint me.
No, I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here.
Do tell.
Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple.
Temple?
Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? It is, right? Finally.
Objection!
Air Justice. Oh, Air Justice.
Yes?
Your tactics are outdated. Trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles? Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your masters suffered 7 years ago. Phoenix Wright, was it?
Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to his testimony.
Yeah. Hey, a forehead.
Forehead?
Let us imagine you're walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, Air Forehead?
Well, I guess I'd try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!"
And you, Fraulein? Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eek!" And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout, I wonder?
Ah! If the victim turned his head at the last moment...
Ah, yes, thank you for jogging my memory.
Sounds like an addendum to his testimony is required.
As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. "Cease this at once, you two!" I cried, with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
I see. So you attempted to stop the crime?
Indeed, with composure. Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that.
That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately.
Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. The witness, Mr. Stickler was it, stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer would have fired at just that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report.
That does seem to be the case.
Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science.
Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness.
I think I know what the contradiction is.
So you saw a raised pistol. Weren't you frightened?
It can be said we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action.
That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot.
Huh? You certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't have left a witness behind. He actually looks like he has no idea he was in danger. Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed.
Are you sure both men were able to hear your voice?
They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed through the park. And the victim responded to that clarion call. Quite.
Did you hear the gunshot at the same time the victim turned?
Indeed. I would say about the same time, to be precise.
And the victim didn't ask you for help?
It can be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step. I'm totally sure the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him.
Don't say that too loud, Trucy, please. Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly?
He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed. He simply couldn't believe what he'd done. He shot, he panicked. A common tale, but true. Unfortunately, before I could take further action... I'm gonna press this before I present anything.
You didn't even try to apprehend the criminal?
It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time. Didn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo?
What?
The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away.
According to the testimony, that's what happened, yes.
In that case, I'd expect to find something we didn't find.
Find something? Find what?
I like that contradiction. Kinda sad to see it go.
Not as sad as I feel. What do we do now?
At least the testimony's getting a little clearer.
She's right. Maybe I can find something to use in this new testimony.
I'm gonna turn on my fan for a sec. It is hot as shit in here. It's hot as shit! Fuck! Okay. So, yeah. Oh, okay, the weapon was left at the crime scene, the pistol. Wait, but it wasn't found at the crime scene by us. I don't know, let's try it.
Objection!
Wait a second.
Tisk tisk. Another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse that you can't see how it affects you.
Come again?
Wait a second, you say? A second? Are we intended to wait just that, a single second, 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes 35 seconds,
Mr. Justice,
Yes, Your Honor?
am I to understand that you are objecting to the length of a second?
Yes, I mean, no. Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. Also, I am pointing this gun. I'm pointing it at, fuck, what's the YouTube layout look like again? I'm pointing at the recommended videos. Don't click that shit. I warn you.
Ah, common ploy. Made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints.
Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran.
That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. Ah, the little girl sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not little. Then let's think like adults, shall we, Fraulein? Huh? What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves? Gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo.
Well, Mr. Justice?
Could the killer have been wearing gloves?
Hell no!
The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were wiped, which means some trace of prints remained, which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you say it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol.
That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant, he threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of. That sounds solid to me. Well, Air Forehead, any of your precious objections? What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work.
You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say.
What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said?
Huh? Isn't what obvious?
When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Wonky drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Wonky threw away. You're right. He's just confused because a pistol was found at the scene. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be hard to be so perfect and yet so wrong.
Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended.
Well, it is indeed true that once in my youth I wrote a love letter in my own blood that was seized by the teacher and posted on the blackboard for all to see, and that this appellation poor might be prefixed to my name. The issue is yet that...
What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this?
Well, if what he threw wasn't a pistol...
Then it had to have been something else.
At least one person on the defense seems to be... At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking...
Oh, wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin.
Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene?
Knife!
Is that a sword? I saw one of those on the late-night movie last night.
Great, a sleep-deprived judge. This knife was found at the scene of the crime, with the defendant's prints on it.
His prints?
This single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that what the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, that the defendant wasn't wearing gloves.
Indeed.
Oh, forehead. You're forgetting two other important things you've proven.
Huh?
One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Waki Kitaki. Two, that the defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim.
Oh.
Indeed.
Never underestimate a Gavin is the lesson here.
This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please.
It is always the same with you people. Mark the house on foot, and 5 minutes later his brother left after him. How long it would take for Mark's brother to catch up to him, assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming, yes, that's what I said, assuming. As if that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are assuming that my assumption is no better.
What this court assumes is that the witness will testify as to what happened after the shot was fired.
I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Nor could I possibly leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else.
Why didn't you chase the killer?
He was, as you say, a killer. Of course, I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than an aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that. Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? And do we not also know that there was no one else there? It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not?
Does it not, Mr. Justice?
I better find a way to take this testimony down quick.
Yeah. I turned the fan off for like 5 minutes. I'm sweating like a pig.
Which way did the killer run?
By that time, it was clear the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran the opposite direction.
That would mean he ran in the opposite direction from the Kitaki mansion.
Achtung! Don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once, or all he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight.
How did he know that's where I was going? You were certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed a killing.
If one is to devote one's life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood, nor be so moved by a chemical discovery that drops one's flask upon the lab room floor. Oh, cool answer. Very cool.
So nothing strange about how he acted. Trucy looks like she has something to say. Wasn't your first thought to call an ambulance?
It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death. Ergo, there was no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, a perfect syllogism. A proof in 3 parts. Exquisite. Simply exquisite.
He actually looks like he's going to cry. Can you tell us in detail about these 10 minutes?
I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction.
Is that all?
No one came. Nothing happened at all. I saw it all, which is to say, I saw nothing.
It was late at night. It's not odd to think there would be few people around in the park.
So we just stood there watching. Not much to go on there. Trucy, if you've got something to say, by all means say it. I can't find a single problem with that testimony.
Had enough at last, Air Forehead?
Maybe it's time to back off a bit.
No!
The defense still has some questions that demand answers, Your Honor.
Your opinion, Prosecutor Gavin?
I'll let him play attorney until he's satisfied, I say. I'll amuse myself by composing my next smash hit in my head.
Very well. You may continue with the cross-examination.
Okay, I'm gonna save real quick. I save right here. Yeah, I'm playing at 1 in the morning. What of it? I tried to record it this morning, but my voice was not having it. I'm sure eagle-eyed viewers noticed at the beginning of the episode that I had an autosave from this morning.
This witness is way too self-assured. There's gotta be a weakness somewhere in his testimony.
Am I supposed to press it again?
Maybe there isn't anything left to unravel in this testimony after all.
Some of us have glamorous careers we'd like to get back to this month, Air Forehead.
They don't have enough to put Walkie away yet. Should I back off for now?
Yeah.
There's nothing fishy about that testimony at all.
It appears there are no objections to the witness's current testimony.
There are any number of ways to exploit the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then, after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion.
No. No!
It seems we've come to the end of the line here.
No. That can't be all.
How unfortunate. Seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Were you, Air Forehead?
I believe this brings the cross-examination to a close. This court will now declare a verdict for the defendant, Walkie-Talkie.
Eek!
Trucy?
Nobody move. What's the meaning of this? Who are you? There will be no verdict in this court. Not yet.
Wait, are you one of the Kitakis?
The Kitakis? You mean the notorious gangsters? If you don't want to see me give this pretty little girl a new smile, do as I say. Adjourn the court for 20 minutes. What? This court will not bow to pressure from the likes of...
Judge, I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman.
Recess, 20 minutes, or I promise you you'll get it.
Wait, how'd he disappear so fast?
Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo.
I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man.
Okay. That did not go nearly as long as I thought it was going to, but that was part one. Yeah, that was that was the first half of the trial. The day one trial of chapter 2 in Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. But if you enjoyed this video, then no further actions required on your part, and we'll see you in the second half of the trial,